Are you tired of managing multiple marketing campaigns across various platforms? Well, say goodbye to the chaos and hello to efficiency and organization with ClickUp. Whether you are brand new to ClickUp or a seasoned ClickUp user, ClickUp is our favorite project management tool that is a game changer when it comes to organizing and optimizing your business operations. We manage all of our marketing platforms, campaigns, and regular content in ClickUp. It's our ride or die. So I'm so excited to dive into this video today and show you how you can manage your marketing campaigns, whether it's a course or product launch or your regular YouTube, Instagram, email marketing content. We've done a few videos on our channel about using ClickUp for things like your YouTube workflow or email marketing, but I'm super excited to get more in depth in this video and show you multiple different examples in one go. By the way, hey there, my name is Christy. I'm the CEO and founder of DaSilva Life. We are a systems and consulting agency that helps companies streamline their operations through amazing systems like ClickUp. I'm a verified ClickUp consultant. I love chatting about all things ClickUp on my channel. So if you want all the ClickUp tips and tricks, make sure to subscribe to our channel. All right, with that, let's dive in. So you guys are really about to get the inside scoop. Usually I do these tutorials in our test account, but I'm actually going to show you through our actual marketing campaigns and how we manage them. So our content calendar bundle, which is almost identical to how we do this, also is the same exact thing, but I think it's really helpful to see real data in this specific circumstance. Okay, so in this video, we're going to cover a lot. I'm going to go through how to manage your marketing campaigns, whether that's ongoing content platforms or that's one-off things like product launches, course launches, doing a singular campaign. So with that, let's get it. Okay, so let's start with where we actually start and map out our strategy. So I've talked about them a lot, but if you are not familiar, we have someone that is our master marketing wizards, which is Uncanny Content. We work with them to help us with our marketing strategy, and they do our copywriting for all of our assets. And then we have a whole team behind us going through the rest of the deliverables. Now, whether you have a team or not, this video is still going to apply to you. Whether you do your own marketing strategy or not, again, you can still gain so many tangible tips from this tutorial. So where does it all begin? It all begins in this Uncanny Content master content list. Once every quarter, we have a meeting with our strategists over at Uncanny Content, and we will map out the quarter ahead. We'll talk about the different topics that we want to talk through, and we'll have weekly themes for each week. So here you could see June, constantly trying new project management tools, business anniversary, Asana, ClickUp. Some of these things are shifting around, so please don't hold us to them. As you can see, we just have the July content plan release that I have to review, and there were some things that we swapped around. So again, this is, even if you don't do weekly themes, you can still use this same type of flow. Okay, so what we do is we map out our weekly themes. You'll see that they map them out in a Google Sheet. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so here you can see, this is from January. They'll put what the promo or focus is, the title of the content, and then map out our social media topics per week. Now, also, it's important to note that this is like our base structure, but I will absolutely also throw in additional content and reels and things like that for what's trending or something that may have come up. So what happens is we map out the quarter ahead. I also will note, which weeks are YouTube videos versus not, because right now we've been doing bi-weekly videos that may change in the near future. And then after we map that out together, then my executive assistant will come into here and she will drop all of the content topics. She'll put any tags, is this a collaboration? Is this a YouTube week, etc.? Maybe there's a sale going on. And then she'll create documents. I'll show you what those look like in a second. She'll put the publish date because all of our King content, our YouTube video, blog, email, they go live on that Tuesday of that week. And then she'll be like, okay, Christy, these need Loom videos for you to give the Uncanny team context. And this is when you're going to do it. So as you can see, she has delegated these 3 to me. I'm going to give the Uncanny team more context and they're going to work on it. So you'll also see that we have some things in backlog and queue. These are just things that, we had ideas for and we wanted to drop in here. So what happens is, let me go ahead and show you the content copy. So this is where you'll see we've been working with Uncanny since 2021. And in here, this is where we store all of our documents. So this is how they're mapped out, social media posts. Here's all of the copy, the email, and then if there's a blog, they'll put the blog at the bottom. So this is actually the content for this week, how to use marketing campaigns, etc. Now, another thing that's important to note about this, and again, this video is going to be pretty beefy, but I just like to give some tangible business tips as well, is I was really scared when outsourcing my marketing that because this is like my brain and systems are so technical that it would be hard to bring a team on board to create the content. I was absolutely wrong. Uncanny, our designers, everyone involved in this project is absolutely amazing, and we have found a flow that really works for us. So for example, what I will do is I will create a Loom video saying, okay, here is my thoughts, kind of the brief, here are the technical aspects, and then you'll see, look, how to use ClickUp for marketing campaigns. I'll put at Uncanny, the content is here, I'll put my brief in there. And then after that, I will move it to Uncanny in progress. So it's in backlog and queue while we're just kind of like discussing them. Once it actually goes into, hey, this is an actual topic that we're putting on the calendar, we'll put it into needs Loom video. Then I'll do the video, put it to Uncanny in progress. Once Uncanny then creates the content and drops it in the doc, they will move this to ready to review, and we have automations in here that, for example, when it goes to ready to review, it's going to reassign me with a due date of 1 day later. So then on my calendar, I'll just come in here, I will go ahead and review the actual content. I will make any tweaks or edits or feedback in that document, and then I'm going to say, okay, this is reviewed. Now, Fernanda, you can go ahead and add this to this list. That's my executive assistant. If it needs edits, I can move to needs edits. It'll go back to Uncanny. If we're blocked or waiting on something, then we can move it there. So then that's when we get into all of these lists, which we'll get there next. I just want to finish out this flow here. So you'll see that once it goes to reviewed, add to list, then it'll reassign Fernanda. So we have more automations in there. And then she'll do it as added to content lists. What then happens is it actually removes the due date and the assignees, and it changes the due date to the publish date. So when that due date arrives, it automatically moves this to publish. So after Fernanda does her work, she puts it in the list, and now we have the content flows running in there. Then ClickUp is going to do the rest. It's going to move it along the pipeline as it needs to be, so we don't have to keep double checking a million places. Okay, so that is the master brainstorming marketing calendar, right? We need to have one place to store all of our ideas and our King content topics. So now let's talk about what happens once Fernanda comes in and adds them to the individual lists. So this is where they now come into the marketing platforms. I won't go through every single one because I do want to keep this as concise as possible, but let's talk about email marketing, YouTube, blog, and Instagram. Okay, so Fernanda's going to come in here. She's going to put the copy in the description, and then she's going to move this to review copy. Then we have different automations in each individual lists because every single platform functions differently and our process is different. So when it goes to, let's see, let me find this. Okay, so task or subtask created, and the status is a review copy. It's going to reassign me with a due date of 1 day later. I'm going to come in, review the copy. I'm going to give any other screenshots or anything that need to be added. And then I'm going to move it to ready to draft in ActiveCampaign, our email marketing platform. Once Fernanda comes in, so that's actually going to reassign Fernanda with a due date of 1 day later. Once she does that, she's going to move it to ready to design/tweak. And then our designers are going to come in and they're going to work their magic. After they do that, then they're going to move it to review design and ActiveCampaign. It's going to go back to me. I'm going to review it. If it needs edits or anything like that, then it needs edits and it goes back to our designers. Now, here's another part, right? So because we do YouTube, there are times that the YouTube video is not done yet. And so the email is finalized aside from the YouTube. So we have two statuses. Either it's approved and can be scheduled, or it's approved and we're waiting on the YouTube. So here you can see this one, approved, waiting on YouTube. This one in here, then we are going to go ahead and just pop that YouTube video. Once Fernanda gets that video and uploads it, then she'll put it in there and then move it to scheduled. Another amazing thing about this list, aside from, keeping this whole flow, is you can also add custom fields in all these lists, not only to do things like track analytics, but also in Instagram, you'll see how we do things like captions and hashtags and many chat prompts, all that good stuff. But also you'll be able to easily link out to those specific resources. So I used to design these myself in Canva, and I would always have a Canva link like for Instagram. But now, for example, you can actually link to the exact email draft in ActiveCampaign. So when this goes for me to review, when I click on this, I'm just going to go, okay, let me go ahead and review this. Click on the ActiveCampaign link. It's going to bring me exactly to that. Let me log in and show you. Okay, so once I'm logged in and then my computer keeps me logged in, here you'll see it brings me right to that specific campaign, and then I can go in, click edit design, review it, send myself a test, all that good stuff. Okay, so that is email, right? So then once it goes to scheduled, it's going to do the same exact thing that it did in the uncanny list by removing the due date and assignees and changing the due date to the published date. So when the published date arrives, it automatically moves to published or sent in this case, right? So you'll see that the statuses as well are a little bit different in each list, again, because each platform is different. Okay, so that is email marketing. Let's move to Instagram. I'm going to save YouTube for the last because that is a little bit more robust. Okay, so here you can see in Instagram, the statuses are different. So we have backlog if there are any ideas or things that we didn't get to. We have review copy. So again, when Fernanda comes and brings that copy in, it's going to be in a task. It's going to go right on my calendar. Then if I need to film something, meaning a reel typically, then I will move it to need to film and it'll go on my schedule for a specific date. As you can see, today is filming day. And then we have filmed to edit. So typically I'm not filming and editing on the same days. My brain likes to just go into film mode. And then once that's done, I'm like, my brain is dead. So then I typically come back and edit another day if the team is not editing that specific reel. If I review the copy and say it's a graphic or a carousel, I'll move it to ready to design once everything's approved and I put all the assets in there. Once the designers start working on it, it'll go to design in progress. Then it'll go to review design. It'll go back to me. If it needs edits, it'll go back to them. Final review is like, okay, all the edits have been made. Here's the final review. And then once it's good to go, it'll go to ready to schedule. It'll then go to my assistant who will then schedule it in later. And then she will move it to scheduled, and same thing there. When that due date arrives, it'll automatically move to published. So let me show you how one of these look with a carousel example. Okay, so here, this was in approve copy, right? Or review copy. I then brought in this information here, or actually let me show you one with screenshots. So ClickUp features every project manager should know, right? So I come in here, I add my screenshots of what I want to showcase on that carousel. and then I move it to ready to design. If there is a brief for it, because maybe I want to give some more background context, you'll see that I'll also put in videos here, right? So I'll put the brief, our project manager will give this to the designers, or designer to designer, depends on our current process at the time, and then the designer will start working on it. So it'll then go through the process. You'll also see in here when my assistant comes and brings in the copy, she'll put that into the details section. She'll put the caption, the hashtags, the publish date, if there's a ManyChat prompt. And then you can see, for example, when our designers come in and create this carousel, they're going to upload the slides in order. So I can just pop through here, make any comments on that direct photo, and then give feedback, and then move this to, needs edits, etc. So you can see how there's a lot of moving pieces here. And something came up on my Instagram yesterday when I was talking about another client follow-up process that we created for our agency. And this is not simple. I don't want you to think that I'm like, oh, look how easy this is. There's a lot of moving pieces and it's complicated, but it's complicated to set up. That's the most difficult piece of this. Once it's set up and everyone knows, okay, this is my job, here's what I have to do, I move the status, and then it hands off to the next person, that's when it becomes incredibly easy. When you have all these automations running and you have this clear process in ClickUp, it makes the rest of your work so easy because you don't even have to think of what's next. ClickUp's just going to be doing it for you. So I wanted to mention that. I know this is a lot of information to take in. Note, we absolutely do have a content calendar bundle that has all of this already created. So you don't have to do that brunt work of setting it up from this video, but I really wanted to just bring light to what this can look like and what it looks like when there are a lot of different people and moving pieces involved. Okay, the other thing that you'll notice in here is that there are different tags for different pieces of content. So reel, carousel, graphic, etc., stories. And so in here, that will be different, but when we go into email, YouTube, and blog, you're gonna see that the tag remains the same. That will all come into play when I show you our master content calendar. Okay, so that is Instagram. You'll also see different views on the top of each of these calendars, right? So email marketing, we have the calendar, status, analytics. Instagram, we have publish calendar, task calendar, film edit calendar. So in here, you could see, for example, publish calendar. So in the settings, in the calendar options, instead of showing the start and due date, it's going to show the date custom field publish date. So this is going to be our publish calendar, and you'll be able to see, okay, this is what has been published. Here's what's coming up. The purple I have to film. The blue is in InDesign. Stories are in orange, etc. Task calendar will be, okay, who's working on what's due. Obviously got a lot of filming to do today. And then the film/edit calendar is just going to be bringing in, if I drop this down, you'll see, hold on. There it is, filter, that the status is need to film or filmed to edit. Okay, so that is a breakdown of Instagram. Then let's move on to blog. Blog is extremely similar to email marketing. So you'll see this is, hold on, let me look at these statuses. Okay, so we have review copy, ready to draft, review design, review and webflow, approve waiting YouTube, approved schedule, scheduled and published. Fernanda just literally copies and pastes from the document from Uncanny. I will then review the copy and bring in screenshots here. And also another thing here is when it comes to SOPs for drafting posts, drafting emails, scheduling in later, whatever it may be, we have an entire trainings and templates space where we house all of our SOPs and trainings. So you could also do something that when a task is created, that it does input that SOP link in the comment section. So that's just a little bonus tip for you there. Okay, so that is blog. And then lastly, let's go through YouTube, and then we're going to move on to like one-off campaigns. Okay, so YouTube. I love YouTube. It's one of my favorite places to create content. So you guys are special. So the thing is, it's a very robust process. It takes a lot of work, a lot of people involved to bring these projects to life, because as you can tell, I do love having like polished intros and outros and different things like that. And so we have our amazing editor, David, and then I'm filming these tutorials. Anyway, you guys get the point. So in this, instead of it just being one task like email, blog, and Instagram, where it's moving down this pipeline, what we have to do is actually have an entire series of subtasks that tells everyone what they have to do for this video, who's involved in the process, right? So you'll see I have to do the batch creation, put the basic videos together for David. Our designer is going to create the thumbnail. The reason this is me is because it went to review and it reassigned me. David's going to create the first draft. Then Jeff and I are going to review the draft and provide feedback. Jeff does the SEO. I'm going to finalize it. Fernanda's going to upload it to YouTube. I'm going to review it and schedule it. Round edges just means that when I give screenshots for videos, our designer goes in and rounds the edges for our editor. So we actually have an entire video on our channel about our YouTube process, and it goes through it. So check that out if you want the in-depth. But basically how we do this is when we're mapping out our YouTube videos for the quarter ahead, my assistant will come in here, do this process, add the task template, remap the due dates, and then Zapier comes in and actually creates this Dropbox link, creates the Dropbox folder. So let me actually show you what this looks like. So this is where we're bringing in outside tools too, right? So it brings in this folder. We have a folder for YouTube video and shorts. And so there are some times when the videos, we will do a short for it as well, or like a reel. And so in YouTube, we have the images and videos. I'll put the drafts in here, and so will our editor, David. And then in there, we have the images and videos that go along with the timestamps. So that is all. The folders are all automatically created through Zapier. And so then you'll see that this will go from review copy, review design, scripting, ready to film, filmed face to cam, filmed screen share, sent to editor, editing, review, ready to schedule, scheduled, published. The reason we have to do and complete in this one is because we have subtasks. So we want, batch creation day to show up in to do, and then I can move this to complete instead of published, because that wouldn't really make sense. And then you can see the other custom fields that we have in here, which are the YouTube video URL, the thumbnail, Loom video links, YouTube link, film date, notes, Dropbox link, file request, and then we have some other analytics here, which we're not actually really using right now because YouTube is like evergreen content. So we'll use that for things like email because the lifespan's a lot shorter, but those are in there if you do want to track some analytics. Okay. So then you can see the different views we have up here, like the task calendar, who's working on what. We have David's calendar to see which videos he's working on. He's not actually late on that. I needed to just get an image that there's something blocking. Don't you worry. And then SEO docs. So this is where all of our SEO docs and templates live, analytics, publish, calendar, etc. So that is YouTube. So as you can see, every single platform has a different flow to it. So it's important to take that into account and then also know, like, where am I going to brainstorm this content? So that's ongoing marketing campaigns, initiatives, social media management, right? Now let's talk about what happens if you have a launch, a course or product launch. You're launching a specific campaign. Maybe you're running a sale. What does that look like? So that's where we get into our launch template bundle This is separate from the content calendar bundle. So everything I just showed you is in our content calendar bundle, where our launch bundle, I'm going to show you that our launch for 2024 Scale with ClickUp earlier this year, how that looks. Okay, so the first thing is that you're going to have a bunch of lists under here, right? Instead of one main list. Look at these. I also have to move those to complete. Woohoo. So this will show you a bunch of different things. There are so many tasks and things that go into launching a new course or product, or even if it's not a new course or product, like this was not new, but there's still so much involved. We have a live event. We're creating emails and content and tracking sales, everything like that. So in here, we have the important dates. So this way it could show up on the calendar. So like what days are the webinars, cart close date, Scale with ClickUp. Then we have the launch to do. So you'll see a lot of this is done already. And so let me actually pull up a tab to show you the templated version so you could see what that looks like. And then there are some things like launch sales. I don't want to divulge information about, our students and things like that. So I'll show you some things that are ours and then some things that are templated. Okay, so this is what this looks like in our bundle. We actually give you a templated set of tasks of what you would have to do for launch, like create event opt-ins, the sales sequence, the sales pages, the offer checkouts, etc. And then you'll see like under create event opt-in emails, we have outline them, write them, revise them, schedule them. So there are a ton of things that have to happen. Now, if you are new to launching, every single time you do this, it gets easier and easier, but it is still a huge project. You're still going to have to tweak things. We have to update our courses every so often because they are softwares and they change. And so here you'll see the different statuses: to do, in progress, complete. And then in the category view, you'll also see that we map out this by admin, marketing, content, and tech/backend. So that's the launch to do. Now let me show you what our actual launch emails looks like. So this is where you can track all of the emails. So you have webinar promo emails, event opt-ins, and then the sales sequence. You have in here, they go through the statuses like ready to start, in progress, ready for review, needs edits, ready to schedule, scheduled, sent. We have the link to them in active campaign, so I can easily just go ahead and review them. But also what's really great about this is then you can click on it and then also see the analytics right there. So when it comes time to gather the analytics at the end of launch, then my assistant just goes in, clicks on the link, and then adds those rates there. So then you'll see we have the send on date, we have the date and time. The email segment is very important as well because we don't want to be, slamming people with emails that they already signed up for the event. And then also once they do purchase, we don't want to keep sending them the sales emails. Then we have open rate, click-through rate, and unsubscribe. So like I mentioned, at the end of the launch, we can go through and we can review how each of the emails performed. Was there one that really outperformed? Were there ones that had a high unsubscribe rate? And really be able to analyze those certain things. So all of this event promo will live in launch emails. It will not live in our regular email marketing list because those are for more ongoing campaigns. Now you may be wondering as well, like, okay, well, I still want to have access to this data. So what do you do after the launch is over? So what we do is we keep all of our launch folders in our growth space for the entire year. And then at the end of the year, when we're doing our yearly clean out, we'll go ahead and archive all of our old launch folders for the year, our completed client folders, all of that good stuff. Okay. So that is launch emails. Then we have launch content. So this one is a little bit interesting because what we do here is we actually do have this as in our Instagram list. And then what we do is we bring this in. So you'll see that it lives in Instagram, and then we'll use the tasks and multiple list features to bring this into the actual launch content list to see what was launch content specifically for this launch so we can review it next time. Another thing I forgot to mention is what happens to the archived stuff. You can always click on the 3 dots on Spaces and show archived. You can either just review it or restore it to keep it there. So the next time we do this Scale with ClickUp launch, we will actually unarchive the previous years if it's a year past, and then we'll see what we did, if there's any content that performed well, emails, etc., and then review that before prepping and mapping out the next launch. Okay. So in here, we will actually use the task and multiple list feature to put that in launch content. I also just remembered, I forgot to show you our published calendar, so I will do that at the end of this video. Then we have launch sales. So this is where you can see the different sales. We actually automate this as well through Zapier. So during launch, we'll set up a new tracker that if anyone purchases our specific product we're promoting, it will bring that in here as a new sale, and then we'll categorize it if it was offer 1, 2, 3, etc. We can also put tags like, was this from Facebook ads? Was this an upsell? And then what was the total sale value? And then the cash value. And then you can gather launch analytics. So, what was the event sign up page? How many page views, opt-ins? And then we have a formula showing the conversion rate. And then a document with any important info. So links to things, pricing, launch goals, and launch analysis. This is where you can map all of that stuff out and just have that one document for all of your important launch info. So on the folder level, you'll also have like a launch overview calendar, seeing, what you have to do once these things have due dates on them. But another thing I actually wanted to mention is, why do we do the task and multiple lists for launch content but not emails? Is because when it comes to content, it's a lot easier in Instagram to use just one list where we're seeing all the content and then it's going through the cycles for, our team members to design them and everything like that. It's way easier to just have it in one specific task, whereas emails, they're just very separate. It's a whole campaign. Where Instagram is more like evergreen. It's always going to be on our page. So that's just what makes sense for us, but you can absolutely feel free to do whatever you want. Okay, so that's an example of how you can organize your marketing campaigns for a course or product launch, or just a one-off campaign or sale. So now let's wrap up, and I want to show you the content calendar. So I actually have this favorited, our marketing calendar. There's a calendar on the folder level of marketing platforms. The reason I don't put this on the everything level is because if I did, I would have to add the publish date custom field to every single task in my workspace, and that doesn't apply to every single task in my workspace. So I have the publish date custom field. This in the calendar options is going to not have start and due date, but instead have the publish date turned on, just like the other calendars I showed you in the individual. And here's where it all comes together. You want to make sure you can show close. So, once those things are actually published, you can go back and reference what content went out when. And then this is going to bring in, this is where the tags really come in handy as well, because you'll see, okay, we have a blog, email, and YouTube video going out on Tuesday, April 30th. Then this Tuesday, then Tuesday the 7th, we just had an email. Then Tuesday the 14th, blog, email, story, reel, YouTube video, lots going on. So that's where you'll be able to see, a snapshot of what's all the content going out across every single platform. What type of content is it? What's the status of it? Are we on target? We're looking good. Do we have things mapped out? What are we promoting? All of that. So that was a hefty video. If you made it to the end, thank you for sticking with me there. But I really wanted to give you that deep dive tutorial into how you can use ClickUp for marketing, not only for your ongoing social campaigns, but also course and product launches. So you got a real sneak peek into DaSilva life and how we do it here. I'm so grateful for our incredible team behind us. It is not just me. We all collaborate together to be able to bring you guys all of this awesome content. So with that, thank you for watching, and then stick around for some additional resources. So I hope that video was helpful for you and giving you tangible examples on how you can use ClickUp to manage your marketing campaigns. That's just one use case of ClickUp, but there is so much more that you can do. So if you want to dive even deeper, go ahead and check out our on-demand webinar, Scale with ClickUp. I'll make sure to link it in the description below so you can sign up and watch it today. And if you have any other questions about ClickUp or systems or use cases, feel free to go ahead and drop a comment below. I love getting feedback from you guys on what you're wanting to see in the systems, tech, and ClickUp world. So make sure to voice your opinion. With that, thank you guys so much again for watching. If you found this helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you next time.